Alrighty, so welcome guys to Better Globally, where we explore art of becoming better in every way. Today, our guest is Carlos Guerrero, also known as Carlos, your contractor or the contractor.
Carlos, your contractor.
Okay, yeah, that makes
Carlos
sense.
Guerrero, aka Carlos, your contractor.
It's a pleasure to have you. It's for sure been a long time coming. For people, I have a video coming out saying a little life update, but in case you don't know, that's what happened. Okay, Carlos, so let's maybe just start from the beginning. Tell me, how did you get to this point? What did you do in your younger years? What did you do when you were a teenager? And how did you even get started with cutting edge?
Well, it's a long story, but
We got time.
I started actually working at Subway. My first job was Subway. When I was 14, I was being a hustler trying to get money. Like I wanted money. I wanted to pay because we were born very poor, so we didn't have much. So my first job was at 14, working at Subway. I was there for like about 7 years, 8 years. I became a manager, and I was making decent money back then. I was making like $30,000 a year. Back then was talking about 30 years ago.
Pre-inflation.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really good money. And then nothing. One of my really good friends started doing construction. They started building houses and selling houses. And basically, I was seeing his success, that he was doing good with construction. So he kind of mentored me how to do it. So I started saving money. I bought a piece of land. I was able to purchase the land. I got a construction loan back then. I went ahead and built the house. I sold the house. This is while I'm still working. So I'm trying to do both things at the same time. And I sold my first house. I made some good amount of money. And from there, I was like, you know what? I'm never working for anybody again. I was done working for somebody because, when you have a boss, and I
It's
was,
always different for sure.
yeah. And I was working in a restaurant. I was like, I'm done. So at 22, 23, is basically I went on my own. And I started as a developer. I was buying land, selling houses, and it went really good. It went really good for a long time. But 2007 hit.
Yeah, the crisis. I was actually learning about it recently. It's always the banks, honestly. Then the government just like bailed them out, but it's always the regular people that hurt after.
Yes. So every average person got hurt, including myself. I didn't file for bankruptcy, which I should have, but I pretty much lost everything. So at that time, I had a couple of properties that I was supposed to develop, but I lost them. So the banks took the properties away. I lost everything. I was a zero. The good thing about back then is I was single. I didn't have kids. So I was just me, myself, that I need to provide for. So at that time, since I had already had a passion for construction and I learned I made a lot of resources and connections, I figured, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take my expertise and I'm gonna apply it and I'm gonna help people, homeowners in particular, because I know how to construct and I know there's a business for that. So I started basically doing driveways, windows, anything I could get my hands on. Like I was just all over the place trying to figure out, I'd do like a little Craigslist ad and I started doing my marketing and stuff like that. And I finally started, getting the hang of it. And that's where I started my construction company for clients.
What year was that?
Wow, 2009? Right after the crisis, 2010.
Been a long time. I mean, you guys have been in business for, 14 years.
Yeah, or
You're definitely doing something right if you're still in business.
Definitely doing something right, but it's not always easy. When we started, it was loss after loss after loss after loss. I had so many losses.
Oh, but that's how you learn.
Yes.
So, okay, I'm glad you said it about losses. I was watching your other interview with Anna, and you said that before Cutting Edge, you had like 10 different businesses that you started, and they all failed.
Yes.
So if you want to talk a little bit more about what those businesses were and like why did they fail?
Most of them were in construction related to. The problem was that I didn't have a niche. I didn't know what I was going after. I was very all over the place. I threw whatever sticks, I got it. So I was going over, like I said, I was going over windows, repairs, driveways, bathrooms, and that was the biggest issue. So I started a company called the Bathman. I tried to do the bathrooms. I started a company called the Handyman. So I just try to do handyman work. I tried to open like a kitchen, just a kitchen cabinet maker company. All those companies just failed. Just it was a disaster, a disaster.
So what did you learn from all of those failed businesses?
I learned that in order to do something, you have to be very focused on your target. Like you have to understand your target. Who's your target that you could solve a problem for? What is your niche? And then stick to that. And then based on that target is where you create your marketing, you create your process, you create your systems, you build your team. But you have to identify what problem do you solve for what clients, for what audience.
Yeah, one of our previous guests, Angel Nicholas, he was also saying very similar thing that you have to have your niche, because if you're expert in one thing, then it's way easier for you to be an expert at something else after.
Exactly.
So when it comes to that, so you guys, what's your like main focus right now for Cutting Edge?
Our main focus is growth. But are you talking about my niche or focus
like
vision
niche,
or
what's your like core service or services?
Okay, so our main thing is basically luxury home improvements. Basically a whole complete house. Either a whole house and an addition or even new construction, but it's just basically the whole project, management of the whole project.
And is there anything else that you want to start tapping more into? Any specific area?
Yeah, so I mean, by having that niche, we get a lot of other requests. So we'll still do the windows, we'll still do just the kitchens, but but we're talking about now bigger projects. Not before when I was doing it, it was very whatever clientele, whatever project, and we're not the cheapest, but we provide value. We focus on the value, we focus on the attention to detail, we focus on quality work. That's what we focus on, and giving the client exactly what they want, how they want it, and exceeding the expectations.
I was watching one of your videos and you were saying that usually like people charge upfront and say, okay, this is going to be $40,000. And you said that you also price differently, that people pay at the end of the month once they see the progress.
Correct.
How did you like come to this conclusion that this is probably the better way to charge your clients?
Because most like when you start asking people what are the fears, what we like to do when in our sales process, we really want to understand our clients. What are the fears? Because a lot of people have different fears. And our job is to basically solve their problem. Yes, somebody wants to upgrade, but there's a lot more to that. So what happens is most of the people they're afraid of paying because they hear all the stories how people run away with their money, that they get lost, they don't show up. So I am so confident in our abilities as a company, as a team, as my team, that I don't mind putting the money up front for them. And then once they see the progress and they actually get to touch it and see it, then pay me at the end of the month.
So it's all about credibility, especially in construction. Like I know because also my family was building a house recently, and it's always like, you don't know if they're gonna run away with your money or if they're gonna break something or just not do something correctly. So how would you say you build credibility for your company?
My track record. It shows what we do. There's, you guys could go on Google and see all our clients, what they say about us. But basically, it's just like, again, it's like I know who my target is, I know who my client is, and I know what value I bring to them. And I have been able to create a system and a process to make the whole process, because construction, the projects that we do, it could take 6 months, 8 months, a year, even 2 years. It's a long process that we have to, and we have to build a relationship with the clients. So we basically take the client by the hand. We educate the client. We give the client options. We provide information so that the client can make the best decision for themselves. And that's how we've been able to succeed in this business.
Okay, makes sense. And how did you even like learn all this construction stuff? Because I feel like for this, you don't really go to college. And I feel like some people also are just learn in the field, let's say. So how did you learn all this stuff?
Well, like I said, when I first started my business was developer. So I got good sense of how to do the construction part of it. The other part of it is how to be a business owner and how to grow a business. And that's just been, I guess it's been that the way that I'm built. I'm very organized. I'm very go get it. I'm very about completing the task, hitting my goals. I've always been like that since I was little. And it's just, I guess, being persistent. That's been one of my biggest things. Whether I failed so many times, but the fact that I stick to it and I went through it, it has given me the experience and expertise to put things together and make my business better, to provide better service.
Okay, makes sense. And what would you say was your biggest turning point in the trajectory of your company?
The biggest turning point was when I shift my focus to my people, to my team. So when you start a business, your focus is kind of, you number one, when you broke, your focus is how do I make money, money. Like every expense, no, I cannot spend that much. So your mentality is about where I can save money. Where I changed my mentality is like, okay, I'm gonna stop worrying so much about the bottom dollar, and I'm gonna focus more about the revenue. So I'm gonna spend 5% of my time worrying about the expenses, and I'm gonna spend 95% of my time worrying about the income. How do I get more income? How do I provide better service, better quality? And when I did that, I was able to generate additional income. I was able to hire more people, and then the second part of shifting is when I really focus on my people and, okay, now let me take care of my people so my people could take care of the customers.
For people, I'm also glad that you said that. So I was listening in an interview that you said that your employees are leadership-driven project managers.
Absolutely.
So I think leadership is something that is not a lot of people have the qualities. So how would you say that you vet the people to make sure that they have those qualities, that they can do the job right? And what exactly are you looking for?
So a couple of things. Number one, I don't feel like I have employees. I feel like I have leaders with me, teamwork, people that I want to associate myself with. So I don't see people as employees. I see people as, okay, let's work together to get to another level. And to be a leader, you really have to just have a couple of, I guess, personalities. You have to be organized. You have to have a big vision. You want more things. You have to have the attitude of commitments. So by having those things, then I could shift you and I could help you. And same as me, I had to train myself to be a leader. I wasn't born a leader. But, you take courses, you watch classes. I mean, I have invested in myself in a lot of courses and trainings and boot camps, a lot of money over the years. So that same thing applies to my team. I want to make sure that they're getting the same training that I got and making sure that I give them the opportunities so that they could excel in the company with me. And then automatically their mindset changes and everything starts here in the mindset.
What do you see usually people that they get, let's say, wrong, that you need to like change this specific thing in their mindset?
They think too small. They think that, we're doing a whole thing now with their goals, because another thing too that we need to pay line is, what is your goals? What's your goal for the next year? So once they give me their goals, then my job is to actually kind of help them achieve their goals, because if they're achieving their personal goals, well, guess what? We're achieving our business goals together.
And what would you say is like the hardest part of just growing your company?
The hardest part is probably building the team and training and having everybody provide the same service. I don't know if you noticed, but most franchise business, they stay in business because every time you go to a franchise, they have a system and process, and it should always be the same service. Like right now, for example, any great restaurant that you go back is because most likely you got the same service, you got the same meal, you got the same thing. Every time you go, it's the same exact service. For me, that's what makes a business successful. That whether they're dealing with what the customer is dealing with me or with this guy or with this girl, with this person, they should all be getting the same service. And that's basically the hardest part, to train everybody on the process.
Yeah, I agree. Like systems and processes is just something that makes your business way more scalable. Because if you're all over the place and you don't have everything like set in stone, it's hard to grow because no one knows what to do or they forget. And there has to be just like repeatable process, step by step. Okay, first we do this, then we do this. And that's how we grow.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, so what's your plan for the future for cutting edge expansion, maybe a franchise like you were saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have our 10-year goal, which is based on revenue, people, and brand. Revenue, we want to hit 125 million plus. Brand, I want to build 250 leaders. And no, I'm sorry, people want to build 250 liters. And brand, we want to be the number one choice city at a time. So we have that goal, that vision set already. So now everything that we do is basically to get to those goals.
Okay. Where would you say, if you were to expand, where would you start?
We don't have to go much further. Everything within here, it's enough for us to expand to where we need to get. And if we're gonna expand later down the line, we'll probably go up north a little bit, West Palm, stuff like that. But so far, there's more than enough where we are. Everybody wants to be in Miami.
Yeah, that's very
Especially
true. So
Coral
many people
Gables.
coming here.
Yeah.
Also for Coral Gables, you also recently switched your headquarters from, I think, Doral to
Yeah, so we're in
Coral
the
Gables?
Yes, so now we're in Coral Gables. We got an office here, and it's great. And this is where we're gonna start. This is the first city that we're gonna start taking over to be the number one choice in Coral Gables. Then we'll jump to Pinecrest. Then we'll jump to South Miami. Then we'll jump to South Beach. Then Brickell. So that's the plan.
Why Coral Gables?
Because I love Coral Gables. I mean, it's
I can
essential.
relate.
It's the heart. It's the heart of Miami. It's greatest city. Me, I love it.
So what's the biggest project that you ever had? Either put I don't know, like a number to it, or I don't know if it's like a big building.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been residential. Biggest project that we've done is new construction, build a brand new house. As far as cost, $1 million, $1.5 million
Okay.
in revenue.
Okay, let's talk more about now you as a business owner. So when it comes to mindset shift to be a business owner, because it's also different when you're, like you said, you have people, let's say, under you, the leaders, but someone has to lead them still. So what was your biggest mindset shift when it comes to just growing the company in general and helping leaders be the leaders?
My number one thing that I always done, and I've been a big about this, is lead by example. I have never made anybody do anything in my organization that I have not done myself, tested out, and make sure it works. So I've been basically the guy doing the plan, preparing the process, putting it into play, and then once I know it works, okay, you could do it. Now for the stuff that I don't know how to do, I basically let them lead. Hey, listen, we never done this before, but I want you to take control. I want you to take the control of this responsibility, and you're gonna go ahead and create it, and you're gonna fuck up, and I understand that, but I need you to try, and I need you to document everything you're doing, and once that we figure that doesn't work, we'll make adjustments, but there has to be a plan. You cannot just go and do whatever. Just write a plan down, figure out what we want, how you want to do it, and let's test it. And I'm very open about testing different things and seeing the results, and then making adjustments.
Is there any habit that you started doing or something that really helped you elevate as a business owner and what your mindset in general?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say a habit, is more like routine. I'm very routine. I'm very about creating a routine and sticking to the routine over and over. So I believe I live a very balanced life. I mean, I'm married. I have 3 beautiful kids. I have a business. I have a couple of businesses that I run, that I manage. I have my personal life, and I'm very about my time frame. Like I only work. You only see me work on the office with Monday and Friday between 9 and 5. After that, I'm with my family. After that, I'm at the gym. On the weekends, it's all about my kids and my family. Whatever my wife wants to do, like she basically plans my weekends. Like I don't have any saying. Friday comes, I'm like, oh, what are we doing? and I go with the flow. That's it. So I'm very organized with my time management.
Okay, so would you say that time management is something that really helped you just in general balance your life and scale and everything?
100%. Time management, having a balance, having a routine, having a routine and knowing how to manage your time is very important. And investing in yourself. A lot of people are afraid to invest in themselves. And what I mean by that is just keep educating yourself. Keep learning from other people that are where you want to go. Like I'm a big fan of Cardone, and I have done so many courses with him. I gone to shows with him. I see him in person. I met him in person. And it's been great. It has definitely made a huge change by investing in myself, because it's not cheap. It's not just about this. It's time. you need to invest.
Yeah, I mean, you can pay the money for like a course or an event, but if you're not there actually like learning, trying to
Yeah, if you're not present.
internalize the stuff, like what's the point?
Exactly, 100%.
Wait, you said you don't like Grant Cardone?
No, I'm a huge fan of Grant
Oh,
Cardone. I'm a
okay.
huge fan. Yeah, I think he has helped me a lot with where I'm today.
Okay, I'm glad you also mentioned that. So there's a lot of, gurus and social media personalities when it comes to real estate. Who do you follow apart from Grant, and who do you think is like very knows their stuff and someone that, let's say, you look up to?
I mean, Brad Lee is pretty good. I like how's his attitude. As far as real estate, I
I
don't.
follow him too.
Yeah, yeah. As far as real estate, I don't really follow much people. I just follow Grant. I think what he's doing with the buildings and that is actually my next move, because my other business that I have, which is not cutting edge, it's I buy and sell. I buy and flip houses. So we buy a house, we fix it, and we flip it. So that's another business that I have. Right now, I'm in the process of selling all my properties, and when I get all the liquid, I'm gonna go ahead and transition to buying buildings and holding for 10 years.
Buying buildings
Mhm.
like multifamily or
Multifamily.
apartments,
Yeah, like
condos.
multifamily, at least anywhere with 50 doors and up. 50 doors means 50 units, like 50 apartments in one place, and try to hold there and rent it and
And
going with that.
for investments like that, do you always go for Miami, or you open to invest in buildings like that in other cities?
For that, definitely in other cities. We have to basically look a little further away. I preferably somewhere that I could physically drive and check up once in a while. But when you get yourself in a big building like that, that building itself has the revenue for you to be able to pay a management to manage the building for you, so you don't have to do it yourself.
Yeah. So if you can tell us a little secret, what's like the city that you think is a good place, or like the real estate market in this city is very much growing, and that you potentially are looking into investing your money and investing in the building there?
That's a hard question. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have the secret sauce yet.
Okay.
I'm just starting with this, and I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
I mean, the time will come for sure
Absolutely.
to do the research.
Yes.
So for flipping houses, what's your biggest tip for someone, let's say, that wants to start flipping houses?
Yeah. So for flipping houses, I'm very niche. I know what I'm after. And if you're gonna start flipping houses, I think one of the biggest mistakes people think is like, oh, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. How am I gonna do it? And it's not really about money. It's about finding the right deal. Because if you find the deal, people will give you money. People will throw money at you, if the numbers make sense. Now, another tip is like, for me, I will not go into certain price points. For example, I will not invest in a property that I'm gonna buy for $300,000. I'm gonna try to sell for $400,000, which is more in the lower market. And the reason for that is that there's not enough spread or room for mistakes. So one mistake in construction could be $3, $4, $5, $10,000, and there goes your profit. So my niche for my flips, I like to purchase houses anywhere between $600 to $1 million, but have the spread that I'm gonna be able to sell it between 1.3 and 2 million. That's been my secret. And even because even me, as an experience that I am, I still go sometimes over budget in my own deals, because it happens, and sometimes you want to spend a little bit more. So by having a bigger spread, I'm able to make those mistakes or go over budget, and I don't have a problem.
So the flipping business is like very like something within your industry. So usually when you flip a house, you take, like, let's say, cutting edge, and this is the project we're gonna focus on right now. Or do you? How does that work?
So what I do is my other company finds the deal, puts the deal together, and then that company hires cutting edge to do the renovation. So I keep everything separate.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, I keep everything separate. Every company that I have has a separate books, separate entity, has a different process, different systems.
How do you balance everything out to be like owner and manage all of that?
Teamwork. You build leaders, you build people,
Eh,
and you
yeah,
train your
right.
people. so that you could have more time for yourself to focus on other things.
Across all of your businesses, how many people do you hire?
Wow, I mean, we hire a lot of people because we hire laborers, we hire subcontractors, we hire employees, we have. So I mean, I will say anywhere between 150 and 200.
Wow, that's
roughly,
a lot.
roughly. But they're not full times. You know, we hire different people at
It's just like
different times.
subcontractors too.
Correct. Yeah, that's part of the subcontractors that we use.
So if someone wants to start in the construction industry, whether it's living houses or investing or doing the remodeling, what are your tips for someone starting out?
Three, I guess, you know, we narrow down to three things. Learn as much as you can. Like educate yourself, number one, for sure. Number two, figure out what is going to be your niche, what problem do you solve, and who you're going to go after. And number three, go full throw and don't look back. Keep going forward, whatever it takes. And you're going to fall and get back up and do it again. And you fall again, you get back up and do it again. And you fall again and get back up. But learn every time you fall and make the adjustments.
Every successful people that I talk to, they always say the same thing. It's always about failing, trying,
Oh, yeah.
fixing, trying again,
Yeah.
and then
I see failure as a positive, because if you don't fail, you don't learn. And if you don't learn, you get stuck where you are at, and there's no growth.
true.
So you have to fail.
Okay, but let's say I'm now 23, so I want to start getting into construction. Like, let's say, be a project manager. How would I even start?
Well, you could go two routes, right? The first route, if you want to be a great project manager, go work for a construction company that they're gonna train you, and you're gonna get the skills to do it. Because if you want to be a project manager, you want to be a business owner. It's two different things, right? So if you want to be a project manager, just find out a job that is willing to give you the opportunity and read books and train yourself on leadership. Because being a project manager, you are a leader. You have to have great communication skills, great supervision skills, great management skills. Like, you have to have a set of things to be a project manager. You have to even learn how to negotiate with people, learn how to communicate with people to get what you need them to do.
Yeah, I mean, project manager, just the name says, you're the manager. You need to make sure that everything goes smooth, everything goes well, so the project comes to life.
Exactly. As a project manager, you are in charge. You are the leader.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about what you do?
Helping people. I think after you see the success stories that you do for just not for yourself, but for your people and for your clients, like, you know, that for us, like, building a house that they're gonna be living there and spending time with their family, and that's a success story. And then even when like we just got a review yesterday from a client, how happy they were with the whole process, how systems. So it's like, it's a good feeling that you work so hard to get a project from A through C. And a lot of times people don't value how hard or what it takes to do a construction job. They don't understand it. But when you finish successfully a project and you get recognized for that, it's a great feeling to have.
So why do you do what you do?
I love construction. I love real estate. I love helping people. Like, you know, and the money is great too.
Yeah. Okay. So if you were to start over, let's say you lost everything, hopefully not. And if you were to start over, how would you start?
Probably with my experience, I will definitely start in real estate and investing.
Investing. But just strictly investing, or start maybe another company?
Well, I'll start investing to start generating income, and then I'll definitely have more companies. Yeah, for sure, I'll start another company. But the first thing will probably be I'll invest in something that's going to generate me some additional income, and then with that income, I'll start building another business, for sure, businesses.
And how do you start like a remodeling company? In the sense of, how do you get your, let's say, first deal? How do you get your first good review? How do you get over the fact that people won't trust you? How to do that?
It's definitely a process. And I think if you want to start from scratch and open your own business, you gotta go out sell, and you gotta basically wear all the hats. You have to be the marketer, you have to be the project manager, you have to be the salesperson, you have to be the bookkeeper, and you're gonna wear a lot of hats. So my recommendation for somebody that want to start is you could try going to business with somebody that maybe he's really good at managing and you're really good at sales, and kind of like do what you're really good at, what you feel comfortable doing. Because not a lot of people are like, in my organization now, we have people that they hate to sell. Like they will, but as running a project, they're so comfortable and successful, and vice versa. Some people hate to run projects, but they love to sell. So you really have to be comfortable with what you like to do, and along the way, you're gonna learn new skills, and then you definitely want to try new things as you learn.
So what's your, let's say, area of expertise? And like you were saying, when you started, you were very good at selling, were you very good at managing, were you very good at just the labor itself?
Yeah, so I never done labor. I think I was being good like with people, with communicating with people, with talking to people, with creating a connection, with treating people with respect. And I feel just by doing that, I'm able to make a sale with somebody or build a relationship with the contractor so that they could do the physical work for me, and making sure that they go to my job and stuff. I just being a people person.
And what was the area that you were struggling with the most?
What year?
No, what area was what is the area that you were struggling with the most?
When I started, the area I was struggling the most is probably the area that I was broke and I was focused so much on expenses. I was trying to figure out how to save money, and I was trying to do everything by myself because I didn't want to invest the money to pay somebody. And if I would have learned that before, like, delegating is key. You have to learn, you have to let go. You have to sometimes let go, control, and give people chances so that they could help you scale.
Okay. And what's the worst part of your job that you like hate doing?
Wow.
I'm sure there's something.
Let me think about it. This is hard. I guess the worst part will be geez. I really do love what I do, to be honest with you. I guess the worst part is when I see people fail in my organization and I see them struggle, and to me I guess it's so easy because I've been doing this for so long that I just don't like people failing, and I get stressed out that because their failure is my failure, right? Me as a leader, if I'm not doing my job to train them well so that they could succeed, then to me that's like I failed. And I guess for me the worst thing is a failure. That should be the worst thing for me. Any failure is the worst thing.
Oh, I mean, it's a worst thing, but on the other hand, like, this is how you learn.
Yes, and that's how you learn, exactly.
So it's like a very bittersweet for sure.
Exactly. There's two sides to it. So I guess, but other than that, I mean, I really enjoy what I do, and I really enjoy the people that we have surrounded ourselves with, and the community and the environment that we have put together.
I see on your social media that you post content, you give out tips, you try to be more present. So what's your goal? How do you want to position yourself on social media?
Number one, as an expert in my field. Number two, like I said, I like to help people. I also have another company, a mentoring company, that I mentor people how to scale on how to do business. So I'm really about, I guess, giving back and being, and part of the growth is to be everywhere. So by me giving information, by me giving free information and tips, I'm able to reach a lot of my goals, which is give information, build a brand, educate people, help people.
And where have you seen the most success so far?
Most success so far
on social media, as far as social media, or what has been working for you very well?
Yeah, I mean, as guys for social, I mean, we just started also our YouTube channel, and I think just social media for us is more like about being out there and just showing people, hey, we're a team of people, we're people, and we're here to help. We're here and we're here to stay. So it's just building the brand, I guess.
And I also see that you put a lot of emphasis on education in general. Why is that?
Because like I said, you have to invest in yourself and you have to educate yourself, because that is for me, that's been one of my biggest secrets, educating myself, investing in myself. It's all about keep learning. Like, you're never too old to not learn new tricks. And as time changes, things are gonna keep changing. If you don't adapt to those changes and you keep learning, you're not gonna scale. You're gonna stay little. You're gonna stay where you are. You're not gonna be able to grow in any part of your life. You don't go with the changes.
What is the hardest part of growing all of this?
Hardest part of growing all this, probably, I would say hard time is just the time. Like you need to understand that things will take time and you have to be patient. So I guess that's the part. But you also learn that you need to learn how to enjoy the journey. So because things are not gonna happen overnight. For sure they'll happen overnight. And a lot of people, they want things to happen overnight, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that.
So when it comes to time management, because you're a husband, you're a father, you're a multiple business owner, you were saying that you kind of like, you make time from Monday to Friday at this time to this time. I'm working weekends. I'm doing this. How did you get to this point, and what advice do you have for someone to help them manage with their time?
Well,
because also, I'm sorry to interrupt you. So like, also, since you have so many businesses, how do you know when to focus on which one? What if they all suddenly all require work? How do you like balance that? I'm going to put this time to here, this time to here, and make sure that everything's going smooth.
Okay, well, one of the things too is that just because I'm not present in the office every day on the weekends is not that I'm not available through my phone or through text or something. So I always make myself available because, one text, one message it takes 30 seconds. That's number one. Number two is when it comes to time management, it's not just about you. It's about who your people are. So I need to make sure that my wife or my house understands my schedule and respects my schedule, and as I respect her schedule. So something that we put together, this is a time that I'm going to dedicate to this. This is a time that I'm going to do this. This is a time that you're going to dedicate. And so we understand my responsibilities in the house and her responsibilities in the house. So that's very important. So that's why when I'm in the office, people also understand if I'm in the office, I'm at the office when I and my doors are always open for people to come in and ask any questions. But I always try also to delegate who they're gonna ask the questions to, because you have to have coaches. I call them coaches. So before they ask me, I want them to ask them first, right? And it's also by training people. Like when somebody asks you a question, instead of giving them the solution, you may want to answer that question with, what do you think you should do? So you start training them to basically come up with solutions instead of the problems. Like I tell people, don't come to me or to any client with a problem if you don't have solutions or options. So it makes them be a leader, and that helps me with my time. I'm able to create more time by making sure that they're finding the solutions, and I could focus my time on other things. And it's just about the time management. Is with the businesses, you have your agenda, you set your schedules. I'm here right now. I opened my agenda for this interview, and from here, I just follow my schedule that I pre-planned before.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you said it very well, that it's not about the answer itself. It's about helping people start this thought process. So for the future, in case they have a question, you can like fix their thinking rather than just give them the answer, because that's not how they're going to learn. They need to like come to the conclusion themselves.
Exactly. They need to come up with some solutions that they think. And then, yeah, you know what? That solution is great. You should go with that one. So it makes them think and be a leader, because that's what I'm doing. I'm building leaders. So part of my thing is to build leaders. Even when we do meetings at the office now, we're creating something that each person is going to basically take control of the presentation of the meeting. And all they have to do is they follow an agenda. But little by little, they're going to they're training to be a leader.
So you were also mentioning educating yourself, investing in yourself. Do you read books?
No. I hate books. I've never been one of the ones that read books. But I do read, obviously, on my phone. I hear stuff. I take courses online, but I don't like to read books.
Yeah, I mean, it's very time consuming. What about like audiobooks? Honestly, that's what has been working well for me personally, because I notice that usually when I try to drive to the office, I have like, it's driving up and down the Palmetto. It's tough with the traffic. So, I have an hour home, hour to come here. So you should just like listen to audiobooks. Maybe that's what will be working for you better.
Yeah, for sure. Audio is definitely a lot better. I'm more about watching. Like if I want to learn something, I go to YouTube. I have to watch it and I have to hear it. I'm very visual.
Okay, who do you watch?
No, I just search anytime I want to find something. I don't really have something specific that I watch. I just go, and whenever I have a question, I just go and search it, and I find a bunch of different people.
What, let's say, course made the biggest impact on your career?
And it has to be one of the Grant Cardone's courses that I done. I done leadership courses. I done building business courses. I'm not now doing a 360 platforming course. I'm also doing a 10x stages course. I'm gonna be on stages for people.
On stage?
Yeah. So basically, like this is actually a stage. Like
Oh,
this is
yeah,
considered a
that's true.
stage, right? And the idea for the stage is that I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, and the people that follow you see you. Now I'm open to your network, and vice versa. You're gonna be open to my network. So this is a stage. Another stage could be going in a live stage. Another stage could be on a presentation. The point is that you want to do stages, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether it's on stage, to basically send your message so that you get more people to follow you and to potentially be of service.
That's a collaboration. Is a very
Collaboration,
key,
that's
just
key. There you go.
just in growing, because my audience will benefit from that. Your audience will benefit from that. So it's like a win-win, and
Exactly,
it just
for
like different people have different audiences. Some people may have, like, let's say, the same message or talk about the same stuff, but let's say, oh, I just personally just like this guy more than the other one.
Yeah.
So it's also good that you can start tapping into the other audiences and like just explore more. I totally agree with that.
And definitely, collaboration is key.
Yeah.
Well, part of many things, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. I think this will be my last question.
Sure.
The famous question of the whole podcast. So this podcast is called Better Globally. We explore art of becoming better, how to become better in every way, in every area of your life, how to be more happy, live more meaningful life, be more successful. So you, Carlos, how would you say how to become better globally?
Better globally. I have to stick to my roots, and you just keep investing in yourself, keep learning. Don't think small, think big. There's nothing that you can accomplish. You could accomplish anything that you desired. You just have to put your mind to it. It starts here in the mindset, and then everything flows. And what you guys are doing is great, because you're sending a message and you're helping people. You're putting me in this broadcast. Thank you for having me here, by the way.
It's a pleasure.
I'm able to share my information and hopefully help your people in a little bit, because obviously there's a lot more in the world than just growing construction business.
All right, Carlos, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you,
A
Bob.
lot
Thank
of
you so
value.
much. Likewise,
Thank you.
Bob. Thank you so much for having us.